rise one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
you know the happy Saturday, happy Saturday. Thank you for spending some of your afternoon with me today. I hope you guys are staying safe, washing your hands, covering your mouth. And I hope you guys are staying safe, washing your hands, covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze. I hope that you all are practicing social distancing and that you're staying in the house if you don't have to be out. Two things. The ultimate act of self-love is staying in the house away from others, and fear is just as contagious as the virus. So today, I haven't called a special guest to come in and sit with me to bring you guys anything or talk to you all about anything. You are my special guest because today is a mini coach. So what I'm going to be doing from time to time is what I would call a mini coach, and this mini coach is to support you at whatever level you are at this moment. And in this moment, our situation, God has put us in a paused place. So in this moment right now, there is no looking away. There is no busyness. There are no sporting events, no play dates, no movies, parties, concerts. There is nowhere for us to go. There is nothing to stop you, prevent you, or detour you from looking for things that you have ignored, hidden, or put away. You know those things, those thoughts, those feelings, those dreams, those desires. This is the time to invest in the things that are important to you. This is the time to recommit to the things that are important to you. God has put the entire world on pause. People say that they don't want to that they want to live a life of no regrets. Well, I do too. But I do regret not making some decisions sooner. It can be difficult to face the reality of things, how relationships, friendships, and investing too much, not investing enough. But sometimes we invest in things and end up paying too much, losing too much, loving too much, giving too much. So, what do you do? Do you cry forever? Do you sulk about it? Do you get depressed? Do you suck it up and move on? That kind of, you have to decide what's the direction that you're going to actually go. Personally, I'm not one for living long in a temporary emotion because our emotions are temporary, and many times they can betray us because our emotion in that moment could be based on a past situation or circumstance or a trigger, something that we didn't really move out of. We just pushed it out of the way. The other thing about it is it drains you from and prevents you from experiencing your true joy. Sometimes things happen and you don't really understand why until until your next event. And unfortunately, this right now is that time. But if you let the temporary discomfort or pain hold you hostage, you can't appreciate the joy that comes from that event or will come after the event. This pandemic has changed the course of how we're going to be living our lives now moving forward. There are a lot of people that are sad, overwhelmed, emotional, are checking out mentally. But for me, I'm taking this as a chance to restart or even birth some things that were hidden. So how do you navigate? Just be in the moment. Be in the moment. Live each moment. Think in the moment as it's happening, and then breathe. And then inhale and release it again. Life has too much to offer for you to let your emotions dictate to you how to live your life with a perspective, and everybody's perspective is different. It can be a negative perspective, it can be a positive perspective. It's all about how you perceive a situation. So don't be concerned what other people think about you as long as you are being true to you. And this time right now is the best time for you to look at your truth, not the truth about you that someone else perceives. Um, what is your intent? What's your purpose? What's your end result of your purpose? We have the time right now to put a perspective on this. Stop giving your power away to others to control you. You get to decide. And whether you decide or don't decide, that's a decision. You can't control how others perceive you. And as long as you and God know what your heart is, and God knows that you are operating in your gift, your purpose, that's all that actually counts. So you now have control. If you are going to let this ruin you or allow you to rise, decide to keep it moving. It's just time to look inward in this very moment. You don't have a choice. There is no escaping you. You have wasted enough time with stuff, being busy. Someone is waiting on you. There is someone watching you, waiting on you, waiting for you to surrender who you were divinely created to be, waiting for you to accept your purpose and touch the people that you are supposed to touch, that remnant that was created for you to prepare them for that remnant. God has the final say, and if He trusts you with His people, then that's all that you have to be concerned with. Life is too short to miss out on opportunities to experience joy. Sometimes we have to be our own cheerleaders, but love yourself enough to surround yourself with the people who respect you and support you. Take inventory and look at where you are in this moment. You will never see this moment again. You will never have this time again. You cannot expect that your life will go back to BC, before coronavirus. The signs are all there. We are slowly losing people, places, and things daily. Yet, our purposes still remain. Our dreams still remain. Our desires still remain. This is the time that we are reminded more than ever before to get back to those things that fulfill us, the things that make our heart happy, the business that we were too busy to follow through, the book that we were too busy to write, the time to sit down with our family for dinner or to watch a movie because we were too busy. These are times to develop those places that were under or undeveloped because of busyness that took over and outgrew or overgrew those areas. This is time to reevaluate the things that are truly important in life. It's time to get it together, people. It's time to prepare for your personal what is next with your purpose and your intention. And finally, it's time to focus. Prepare that once this is over plan, because you can no longer waste time on yesterday or what other people think about you or even what they say or do to you. You can no longer ignore, hide, or put your purpose away because of what others think or feel. It's time for you to make a decision and take an action and move. I hope that you decide to stop allowing others to rain on your parade and focus on the good. Be proud and confident in your intention, regardless to others' inabilities to see you, your intentions, or your purpose. And last but not least, live your authentic, live your life authentic, intentional, and on purpose. Be love and light to all of those that you come in contact with. So my last day at my corporate job was March 24th. And on that night, I went Facebook Live to start my pandemic of positivity. And I felt like it was important because we were all going to be in the house. At least we were supposed to. And on that night, and since that night, I've been live through at least every day. I may have missed a couple of days, but I've been very intentional with this time because I'm not going to be off from work like this ever again. I'm hoping that this is going to be me preparing for not going back to work. I've been intentional with business opportunities, reconnecting with my purpose. I've been intentional with relationships because now more than ever before, we need to reconnect with our human spirits, who we are as people. The fact is, God didn't create us to be here on this earth on an island by ourselves. And we have reduced our life to social media where we like, we comment, we share a picture, and we share. And a lot of times we get a false perception of someone, and other times we are possibly given others false perceptions of us, right? The world has been put on a pause that allows us to be grateful and engage with others. To hear the inflection and laughter of someone else's voice on the other end. I know personally that I have talked to more than 60 people between now and the 24th. The past 3 days I've kind of slowed down because I've been working on other things, but tomorrow I'm going to pick my phone calls back up because it was nice to speak to people that I hadn't spoken with in maybe years, maybe 2 or 3 years. And in one case, a young lady, I spoke with her. I hadn't spoken with her since we graduated from high school.
Wow.
Be at peace. And if you don't know what allows you to be at peace, learn what it is that prevents you from being at peace. And once you know what it is that prevents you from being at peace, then you can devise a plan to help you move into that peaceful time, that peaceful moment, and how when everything is going wrong around you, how to be still and be peaceful. Be hopeful for your future. Be living in each moment and with gratitude for your present status, plus remembrance of your past. Right now, I'm doing a 30-day book challenge. So I always get a message or an email or someone randomly contacts me about how do I write a book? Because of that, nobody has the ability to say, well, I can't do it right now, because if you are a non-essential worker, you are at home. At least I hope you're at home. So with this challenge, you're writing 1,000 words per day, including Saturday and Sunday. For more details, you can email me, text me, call me, inbox me, DM me, smoke signal. I'm also preparing a Dear Future Husband focus group because that book is being prepared to be relaunched. And if you need more information about that, then you can reach out to me and I can get more information about that. There are a couple of other things that I'm developing. I'll be releasing those on social media throughout the next coming days. So if you are not following me on Instagram, I am One Authentic Woman. On Twitter, One Authentic Woman. And on Facebook, I have a fan page, One Authentic Woman. So everything is exactly the same. I'm developing right now shows, and I'm pretty much thinking that I'm going to restructure how I do this podcast. Every Saturday is going to be with the Money Maven. She's going to definitely be bringing information, and we're going to be talking about money in this consistently changing time. We had someone speaking about cryptocurrency. We'll be bringing her back. And on March 25th, I have Shatera Garrett of ketogenic living, basically the keto. Everybody has been talking about keto dieting. She is talking about ketonic living. So she'll be here. And I'm just doing what I can to bring my community, my people, information that not only inspires you, but it gives you resources to build your life financially, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Now, I don't know if I have any callers. Are there any callers?
Yep, I'm on here.
Oh, well, hey. I wasn't really sure. So
I'm here.
Was there anything that I said that made you think or made you consider what your next steps are, or had you thought about what your next steps are going to be after we come out of the coronavirus and go into our new normal? Because what we knew as normal before is no longer going to exist.
Absolutely. And yes, absolutely. Like there's a lot that you did touch on, but one more specific is me getting back to writing. We have talked about me writing my books, and here lately I put it to the side, as I usually do with my goals and sometimes my tasks, and I allow other things to take precedence, like with being at home, having to make sure and stay on top of my son finishing his schoolwork and the lack of care to finishing school. So I put a back burner on writing this book. I have two that have crossed my path that I want to continue on. And the challenge that you have, at first I thought it was a hard challenge, and at first I started to talk myself out of doing that 1,000 because it looked to be hard. But I noticed when I went back to school a couple years ago, I took the sociology class and forced me to write pages, literally two assignments every week. And I was just like, in the beginning, I was like, I'm not going to be able to write. I'm not going to be able to keep up with 300 to 500 words. And I talked myself out of it. But when I noticed that I just sat down with the pen and paper, I was able to get those assignments done, and sometimes I found myself getting more than what the required amount was. So this time I'm not going to talk myself out of doing the 1,000 words. I'm going to take that challenge and just sit down with pen and paper in a quiet place and get these books out of the way. One I did start writing last week, and I just let it flow. And it, to me, looked like how I originally wanted this book to go. It just seems like it's going into a way different path. So I think with me doing that and realizing how the path is changing, and with you now this week putting out that 1,000 challenge, I think I'm going to be able to get that done without a hitch.
So how many times have you talked yourself out of doing something and then talked yourself into doing stuff?
It's almost on a daily basis. It's a daily basis, sometimes quite frequently throughout the day. And it's fear. just like you just touched on. It's fear. It's fear of the unknown, of what's going on, the fear of, am I good enough to get this done? Am I good enough to do this? Am I worthy to do this? Am I valuable? Is what I have to say worth someone listening to? Do people want to hear what I have to say? Do I have anything positive or worth hearing? So all of those fears creep up almost on a daily basis. But it also hits me that it's okay to be fearful. It's okay that I'm afraid to succeed. It's okay that I'm afraid to put something out that, and in the beginning, people may not want to see, they may not want to hear, or they may not want to purchase. But it's something that I have to put out because it's something that was put in me to do. And I can't no longer be afraid to do it, whether people receive it or accept it or not. So that's what I'm learning while in this quarantine, while being shut up, being sometimes in my room by myself all day. I'm learning to accept my failures, accept my negatives, accept that I'm a procrastinator, and to accept things that I normally would not sit in the mirror and look at myself and question. Sometimes I don't like the bad things about myself, so I put those off to the side. I bury those. But being in this quarantine time, it's forcing me to come to grips with them and accept who I am. That's who I am. And then where do I go from there? On a daily basis, I have to find, not excuses, but I have to find the littlest and smallest things to push myself to get out of bed, to push myself to not procrastinate on certain things. And that's hard. But it's something that if I want to succeed and if I want to be a better person when I come out of this, I have to live with it. I have to do those things. I have to do those scary things that I don't want to do. And sometimes I knowing that I don't want to do them and knowing that they're fearful, I still don't do them. So it's a struggle on a daily basis to get myself up, pick myself up, and force myself to be a better person, to be. And I cry. I cry almost daily because I'm not happy with the situation. I'm not working. I'm not happy with not being able to contribute to my household. I'm not happy that I'm not able to pay my bills. I pride myself on paying my bills on time. I pride myself on not having late bills. And here I am with bills stacked as tall as me, and it hurts. It hurts not being able to be successful in this time, be productive in this time. So who wants to sit quietly and work on your goals when you have all of these obstacles in your path? But it's needed. It's a necessity. It's a necessity because, like you said, this is temporary. When those that were coming out of Egypt, it was a temporary thing for them. They were going through that Red Sea. They denied God still at that point when those signs and wonders were coming about. They still mocked Moses when they were going through. This is temporary. It's not going to be forever. And that's the one key message that I keep giving and keep telling myself daily. This is just temporary. While you're in this waiting period, while you're in this desert time, what are you doing? What are you doing for preparation? You say you want to write a book. You say you want your bookstores. You say you want all these business ventures. But what are you doing right now so when you come out to have those things, to make those things happen? And those are the few things that literally, like, that's my encouragement. that light the fire up under me, that make me get up and do what I need to do. Because when I come out, what am I going to show for it? What am I going to have to show for my quiet time? And that's scary. If I've wasted these 4 months on doing nothing but crying and feeling sorry for myself. And that's something that we can't do.
I use be a lot, be, and those two words, nobody really thinks about them, but they're all through Genesis. Every time God was preparing to create something, let there be light, and there was light. Be, to me, is like beginning. So be in that moment, because something is beginning. Be still, because something is beginning. Be in the moment. You just have to learn how to be. And while you're in that be, that's not saying that you're waiting. Something is beginning. And in order for it to begin, you have to start. You have to start. You might not know it takes to start, but you have to make movement, and it'll start coming to you little by little. And then as you start flowing, it'll begin coming to you more quickly.
One of my friends was telling me similar. He said, well, what are you doing while you're off work? I thought you wanted to get your bookstore started, or I thought you wanted to do this. And quickly, I didn't come up with, I wasn't on the defense, but I came up with an excuse. I said, well, I don't have the means, I don't have the money to start these business ventures. But the one thing that resonated and one thing that stopped me in my tracks was start somewhere. He just simply said, start somewhere. It's not all the time that you need money to start something. Just start somewhere. And those key words, little does he know, it was so profound to me. It was almost, he slapped me in the face how hard I felt that. And that's what started me to just writing, just write something. And as a matter of fact, people have their ways of writing. They have, whatever technique they use to get something done, they use it. For me, I started at the end. I started with the end of my book, and I worked my way to the front. And that's how I've been writing. Weird as it is, that's what made me start writing. I started at the end. And then I started doing my
the thing
question.
about that's God-like, because God knows the end before the beginning.
Amen.
So what may be weird to you, that's your process. And that may not be anybody else's process. That's how God is. So I know that I said that this is a mini coach, and I'm going to do them from time to time. I'm not going to always have a guest, but my caller will be my guest. I'm intentional with how I intend to push my purpose and connect with people and support people one person at a time. And today, in this moment, gives opportunity for people to be in the moment, in the very moment that they hear what I'm saying, in the moment that what I've said has gone off, and you're thinking in your still place, when you're thinking about what are you going to do next, what am I going to be next, what's going to happen next. We have to have some thoughts, because we won't get a still time like this anytime soon. Once this is over, we have to be prepared to go. You need to be still at a point where you can hear God to tell you what your next step is. what your next step is. Whether he tells you to go in that closet and dust off that business plan, whether he tells you to quit that job, what plan he is giving you right now in this very moment that's going to allow you to say, well, God said for me that I'm not telling everybody to quit their job, because God knows I know a bunch of people who quit their jobs.
You resonate.
I know a bunch of people who have quit their jobs. Some people say that God told them to do it. Some people say, I just couldn't take it anymore. You want to be able to be still, be in the moment, be at peace. You need to be able to find out where your beginning is going to be. And that's just something that I have been living out since the 24th. Every day. I mean, I'm not consistent with my time because I don't know. There's things going on throughout the day. I haven't been consistent with the time that I do my pandemic of positivity, but it has been such a joy to randomly call people for them to say, Tracy, is that you?
Just a smile, a smiling heart.
These are the things too. These are things that we're missing in life.
Yeah.
We are missing connections with human beings because our digital footprint is so large, but we're so disconnected from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end this call because I'm going to encourage everybody. I got happy hour in like probably another 30 minutes. Yeah, I have happy hour with my friends through Zoom once or twice a week. Last week we did one day. It looks like this week we may do 2 or 3 days. So we've learned how to be creative with us being connected because we can't be in each other's space. We've become creative with how we spend our time together. I would encourage you to go through your phone and start calling people that you haven't spoken with before or in a long time. Start calling people that you said that I don't want to have nothing to do with them no more. Just start calling people to hear their voice and hear their laughter. I called somebody and I know that I didn't give him my phone number. I know I didn't give him my phone number. I was surprised that he was in my phone. But what was even more surprising, he said, hello, Miss Carter. I'm like, what the heck?
Okay.
So I really encourage everybody. We all have our phones in our hands all day. Mine, I don't have it so much in my hand all day. It can be anywhere around this house. So I'm encouraging everybody to pick that phone up that you like to go to Instagram and to Facebook and to Twitter and to whatever social media platforms that you go to. Use it for what it was actually created for. Make some phone calls. Call some people that you haven't talked to in a while. I know we usually have our Bible study on Thursday, and everybody was in our Zoom Bible study talking about, I'm going to call you, I'm going to call you, I'm going to call you. Everybody was talking about who they were going to call except for one person. She said, well, nobody is going to call me. So after everybody was done, after I was done making my calls and I was done receiving my phone calls, I called her to tell her, well, I'm calling you because you said nobody was going to call you, so I'm calling you. So just people want to hear your voice. Stop commenting and liking and sharing and putting a heart on somebody's comment or picture or their thought, because that may not be a true feeling at that time. Hear their voice. Listen to their voice. I'm sure that they have something more to say than that. Those 4 or 5 sentences they put in that post. Their life is more than that smile on that picture that they showed on Instagram. It's time to engage with people again.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to engage with our families again. It's time to reignite the fires on our purposes and the dreams and the desires of our heart. It's time to reconnect our communication with God again. So with that, I'm going to end like I always do, unless I have any more callers. No? Okay. So if you want any information about the 30-day book challenge, you can call me, text me, email me. My phone number is 843-224-6419. It's not a secret number. It's on my website. It's probably on social media. You will not get an assistant. I do not have an assistant. If it goes to voicemail, it's that I cannot pick up my phone. I answer all of my calls. If you need information about the 30-day book challenge, you can contact me. If you need information about the Dear Future Husband focus group, I haven't released that, to the public. If you're in the Dear Future Husband group, you know about it now. If you've heard this podcast, then you know. So that's going to be released probably Tuesday of next week. And Go Time, that's going to be released sometime next week. Go Time is coming up with creative ideas to develop a cash flow. That may be cryptocurrency. That may be real estate. That may be some ideas that you have that I'll help you work through how to develop that course, that program, that book. So that's going to be released sometime next week. I'm just kind of trying to flesh out all of the details about that. So with that, I'm going to end like I always do because it's almost happy hour time. I love you. Be authentic. And thank you for letting me help you be great. And see you next time. Good night.
All right.
Took me a while to get to this place. I'm so glad I'm in this space, accepting all